Hey beauties, welcome to My Sheer Beauty. I'm Britt, your beauty coach, and today I'm going to share with you my beauty tips on the essentials, the things that you absolutely need to create and own your beauty, starting with brushes. Are you ready?
Don't tell me that it looks so easy. Do you now?
Okay, I'm so excited. I'm going to share with you all of the essentials today, specifically the brushes that you need, because there are so many questions about brushes. Especially I get a lot of questions of like, what brushes do I need, how many do I need, how do I use them, where should I buy them, how much do I spend on brushes, do I need to like buy a whole kit or whatever. All those questions I'm going to answer today. Piper is here with me. Say hi, Piper. Say hi. It's raining today, so she's like doesn't know what to do because she can't be outside. So let's just get started. I have a lot of brushes. I have 4 like containers, 2 of these containers and then 2 glasses like this, full of brushes because I am a makeup artist. So I need multiple brushes for multiple clients and all that fun stuff. So you don't need that many. You don't need 24 brushes. That's like a little excessive. So what brushes do you need? Well, I'm gonna go through each one step by step. If you need a reference, so if you watch this video and you're like, man, I really wish I had a list of all the brushes that I need in my makeup kit, then you're in luck, because guess what? If you go to My Sheer Beauty, if you go to mysheerbeauty.com and you click the little menu and you go to free downloads, there are essentials for you, and the first one is beauty essentials and the second one is brush essentials. You click download and it has a list all ready for you of what brushes you need. So I'm going to go through each one step by step, and then I'm going to tell you how to use it and why you need it. The first brush that you want and need in your toolkit is a rounded foundation brush. Now this one is by Sephora. It's called the Pro Airbrush. It's number 55, and you can see it's rounded. It is really easy to blend. It moves really easily, and it's synthetic. That is the most important part in a foundation brush. A lot of like brush sets come with a flat foundation brush like this. This is okay, it's a typical foundation brush, but I always recommend getting a rounded one because this one is going to give you really soft airbrush look. When you use a flat foundation brush, it's really streaky. For a foundation brush, you definitely want a rounded one to get the best coverage, more control, and an even airbrushed finish. So the second brush is an angled brush. An angled brush is really great for contouring, for getting that like nice definition in that line. It's also good for blush, or I use this. This one is by e.l.f. I think it was like $2 or $4 or something, but I actually use this for my setting powder. So I'll dip it in my setting powder and I'll press it because it's so small and it gets the good angles. I'll push it right underneath my eye instead of like globbing on the setting powder. I like to just kind of press it in, get it really simple. So I use an angled brush for that. I also use it for bronzer when I want a really nice contour. So a rounded powder brush, oh my goodness, is one of these 3. So these are both synthetic and natural. So these 2 are natural hairs and then this one's synthetic. You can tell by the different colors and its different tones, and it's just, you can tell that it's not natural hairs. These 2 are more natural hairs. So you'd only use natural hairs for powder. Specifically, you can use a synthetic brush for both powder and cream. So these are all rounded powder brushes. You can use these for applying powder foundation. You can use it for applying your setting powder and pushing it on. You can use it for applying blush. You can use it for bronzer. You can use it for your highlight. You just kind of maneuver the bristles around depending on what you are using it for. But I just recommend getting something similar to this because you're gonna use it for powder only. The next brush is a blush brush. So blush brush can come in many shapes and forms. So a lot of blush brushes are actually the angled brush. They are labeled as a blush brush. You can use it as a blush brush. I don't really like to because I feel like it's so angled This is when you get that like 80s blush streak, you know, that's like really intense, and we're not really about that. It's like years ago. I like to opt for something similar to this. This is flat on each side. It's flatter on each side, and then it has a rounded top. So this one's really good for applying it on the cheeks, and then you blend it out. I also love this one. This is a precision blush brush, so it's rounded at the base, but it's tapered at the tip. So you can really get the product on, and then you blend it back. This is my everyday blush brush. So any one of these are gonna be great, just whatever is more comfortable for you. So the next brush that you need is a flat concealer brush. It looks like this. It's tiny and it's super, super flat. It's like a mini version of a flat foundation brush. You definitely want one of these. This is perfect for getting in that really tight inner corner of the eyes with concealers. It's really good for cutting any clean lines, cutting your brows, getting around the edges of your lips if you're wearing red lipstick. This is just ideal to have. It's great. It cleans up anything really nicely, so you're not using your fingers, and you can use it really gently so you're not pulling, but a flat concealer brush is a must-have for sure. So now we're going on to the eyeshadow brushes. This one is very tricky because a lot of people have too many eyeshadow brushes or not enough. Number one rule that I always recommend with eyeshadow brushes is don't use the same brush for 5 different colors, or don't use it to blend and to put it on your lid and then put it underneath your eye, because you want to keep the colors as true as possible. Starting with eyeshadow brushes, you want a medium eyeshadow brush. It looks like this. It is flat, but it's a natural hair, so you only use it for powder. This one you're gonna put all over the lid up into the crease. You want it to have a wider space so it covers more. This brush I actually got from Michaels. It was $2. It's in the paintbrush section, so you could definitely get some really good brushes at craft stores. So the next brush is actually gonna be a crease brush. This is considered a blending brush, or anything that's gonna be fluffy like this and a little bit long. You want it to blend really, really well. This is where you're gonna put it in your crease. You're gonna blend it out. A crease brush is definitely important to have. So the next brush is gonna be an angled eyeshadow or eyeliner brush. This one I got from Michaels again, so it's super cheap. I love this one. I will use it for my eyeliner. I'll use it for underneath. I'll use it for my brows sometimes. You can also use it as a lip brush if you don't have one specifically for that. So you could use this for multiple things. Just make sure that you clean it off for every use that you use it. The next brush is going to be a domed brush. Now I have 2 options here. One is a little bit more condensed. It kind of looks like a blending brush. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a little bit shorter, a little bit more tight and condensed. This is really good for getting that outer corner or adding a lot more color. It's good for smudging things out as well. The next is going to be a small eyeshadow brush. So this is similar to the medium, like I said before, the medium shadow. It's just smaller, it's a different variation. This one is really good for getting that inner corner, adding highlight right on the inside, or adding a little highlight right underneath the brow, or getting it underneath that lash line. Anything that's like a smaller space and you need a little bit more color, this is really good for that. Last but not least is gonna be an eyebrow brush. Now, if you don't use a brow product that's a pomade or powder, then you don't need a eyebrow brush. But this is just really good to have on hand no matter what. I use the Mousse by Tarte, so this came with the mousse, and it's a lot smaller and a little bit more precise than an angled eyeshadow or angled eyeliner brush. You can see the difference. They're a little bit different in size. I like to use this one for my brows specifically because it gets more precision and more definition, and it just makes my brows look more natural. The very last thing is a sponge, a beauty sponge. This is definitely a preference. It's not that you have to have a beauty sponge. I like to use them for powder. I like to use them for liquid. So it's really up to you. It really does depend on your kind of lifestyle and how fast you need to get ready. But if you want to add this to your toolkit, then go ahead. This one was by, I think this is an NYX. It's really cool. It has like the angles so you can get into the creases really well. And then there's obviously the Beauty Blender and multiple different brands that all have a beauty sponge. So there's 11 brushes that will help you own and create your own kind of beautiful with confidence when you are starting out and you feel like you need to just throw out all your old brushes because you haven't cleaned them in maybe a year and you just need a new set, start fresh. I recommend going to Amazon and finding a 12 set brush and make sure that there's a rounded synthetic brush. Most of them, like I said, will come with a flat one, so this included in your kit would be 12 brushes. I just recommend having a 12 set. Just make sure that there's a rounded foundation brush, a powder brush. Make sure that there's just different variations of the face brushes and then the eye brushes, and you're good to go. That creates your brush essentials list. Now remember, if you would love the list to have on hand, keep it in your makeup bag just so that you know what you need for next time, go ahead and go to mysheerbeauty.com, click free downloads, and you can download the brush essentials list on the spot. And go ahead and follow My Sheer Beauty on social media, Instagram and Facebook, and I will see you next time.